Hello and welcome to the sunny 2018 PyeongChang Paralympic Winter Games. It's final day in the wheelchair curling event at the Gangneung Curling Centre. After 123 games of curling, only 2 games remain. Republic of Korea versus Canada is our bronze medal game. The hosts looking to emulate the success of the Garlic Girls silver medal at the Olympics. Canada have only ever won gold in Paralympic curling and are desperate not to go home empty-handed. I'm Logan Gray and I'm joined by 2-time Olympian from the USA and Swiss helm. This is the Korean team led by Bang Min-ja. Second player and skip, Seo Sun-seok. Here's the charismatic third player, Jung Sung-won. And last stones will be thrown by Cha Jae-gwon.
And the host nation will be playing Canada. The lead for Canada, Marie Wright.
Oh, Canada.
Dennis Thiessen.
He's the second, Denny Thiessen.
Ina Forrest.
At third, Ina Forrest.
Mark Idison.
Their skip, Mark Idison.
Well, the Gangneung Curling Centre starting to fill up. The Canadian fans were doing a great job on the dance cam pre-game. This is how it's all panned out in the playoff stages. Korea losing to Norway to go into the bronze game, while Canada losing to the People's Republic of China to get here as well. China and Norway will play in the gold medal. Few losses there, Germany, Norway, and then again in the semi-finals there.
Yeah, the extra end loss for Republic of Korea.
Yeah, Korea will be playing the Redstones and their alternate is Lee Dong-ga.
Bondabi looking on to the results for Team Canada. A couple of losses on one bad day early in the round robin. Nothing like the heartbreak of yesterday's loss to People's Republic of China in the semifinal. Mark Idison and Team Canada going to use these yellow stones and hope to rebound. Their alternate cheering them from the bench today, Jamie Anseu.
Games will begin in 1 minute. Good luck and good courage.
So the games will begin shortly. Marie Wright there ready to kick things on, doing her little dance that she does before every single game. So much written about Marie and her amazing personality. She's a real superstar back in Moose Jaw. Apparently it takes them about 3 hours to get around the supermarket because they have to stop and talk to everyone. I'm sure that's going to be even longer when they get back from the Paralympics.
Yeah, there's no doubt. She had been talking about how this is a dream come true to wear the maple leaf and represent Team Canada, and her enthusiasm, her really dedicated energy to getting things going, being a steady player, being a reliable source of energy for this team has really set them up incredibly well. And in the most major game in her life, she gets that first stone going, and we're going to get to see what Canada's game plan is this final game. They have been somewhat conservative in the previous games. I think it caused them a little bit of difficulty against China yesterday. And with that center line guard, Canada says, let's get this going.
They certainly do, and the centre guard goes up. Nice to see, actually. A lot of the first ends have been run through just by throwing into the house, and lots of takeout. So we may well get some action here in this first end. Bang Min-ja to play the first stone for Korea, coming down on the opposite handle.
Bang Min-ja has been the highest performing lead in the entire championship.
Yeah, she just seems to have that top house weight in her back pocket at all times, and looks like it's going to be no different in this bronze game. What a start from the Korean lead. And how different is it from playing in a final where you know you're guaranteed that silver medal, worst case scenario, to playing in this bronze game where you could ultimately go home with nothing?
Well, there is no doubt that both of these teams were hoping to play in a different game. You have to put that aside. You have to put that disappointment of yesterday's semifinal loss away and really dedicate yourself to this moment. And I think the fact that this is a must-win game for a medal, I think it will help them play better. I think it will help them get over that disappointment. And come up with some really excellent play.
Well, Marie Wright just coming up a little bit short with that one. So an early opportunity for Korea to swing another one round. They do have the last stone advantage by virtue of finishing top of the round robin.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity for Korea to see the other side of the ice. They threw the counterclockwise rotating draw on the last shot, and now Bang Min-ja gets to try the other side, which seems to be a bit slower. So this is the first game of the week that it is the only game out there. Ice conditions will be somewhat unique. These teams and athletes are going to need to adjust as quickly as possible.
Went sucked in there, Dennis.
Mark Addison holding the brush for the left-handed player, Dennis Thiessen. We're going to go on the anti-clockwise handle here. So the stone will be running pretty straight, and now the speed will start to come out, and it'll start to duck and dive and curl back towards the middle. But a little bit speedy, this one, and drifts right on through. So the players struggling a little bit with the speed of the ice so far.
Okay, get the next one. Now you've had the feel.
Okay.
There's bound to be some nerves early on in this bronze game. They don't want to go home with nothing. They desperately want that bronze medal. So Seo Sun-seok, the second player and skip for Korea. He lit the Paralympic flame in the opening ceremony alongside the skip of the Korean women's team, the Garlic Girls, Kim Jong-un. Yoon Jung Kim.
And Denny Thiessen is going to need to set himself up here for the rest of the game. We have seen this week, if he struggles early, those struggles can continue. He missed that first draw heavy through the house. Now he's got a chance to play a takeout, a bit up weight, and that's a great shot. It might not be shot stone, but that rock is in a good position for Canada to use later.
Yeah, a bit of a nerve settler there, makes the hit and stick after that draw. And actually, when you've thrown one through the house with your first one, then sometimes it's quite nice to have a takeout and just settle things down a bit.
Right, where it's not as much about the weight you choose, it is about the line you choose. very aggressive call here. Trying to come through the port on the draw. If they can get this through. So close. They over curl, but they tap themselves closer. They've got a lot of control in front of the rings.
There's a good look at that late curl on the stones. When you get the weight right, it really comes back down into the middle.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, the movement left to right and right to left, depending on what turn, has been outstanding all week. Lots of shots are available when ice is curling like this, and we have to give credit. Ina Forrest is going to have to give some credit to the ice makers that are here. Mark Callan and Stefan Roethlisberger managing great conditions. Today's humidity very low. That's going to help keep this ice well under control, keep the frost at bay, and the surface very keen.
Well, Anne, you mentioned that yellow stone at the front of the house and how Canada would be able to try and use it, and they've done so here with Ina Forrest. Makes a lovely raise.
12-5.
Already has 2 Paralympic gold medals, the third player, and hoping to add a bronze here. Unfortunately for her, she's not going to be able to move alongside her ex-teammate Sonia Gaudet, who already has 3 Paralympic gold medals. And it's just the 4th time that wheelchair curling has featured at the Paralympic Games. Interesting first end built up here.
You gotta love the boldness. And Young Sung Won, charismatic, third. And for the run takeout, did he get it? No, just over curls a little bit.
And actually moves that into a better position for Canada. A little bit closer to the center line. Just hits it across the face and it spins back into the middle. A little bit unfortunate.
Or you can tap. So what kind of weight, Mark?
Well, that stone
Same
will
weight.
still be
12 and a half.
seen at the moment, so Canada keen to put more blockages out front.
Yeah, and this is one of those shots that Canada can sit up front and guard, or it could slip into the rings. They could tap. Sometimes the best guard is second count, and there is a chance to kind of change the angles up, tuck a stone further, and knowing that Ina had just played the tap, give her a chance to try and throw it again, but it does look like it's the guard.
13-4, so right there is good. Nice shot, Ein.
They just
that's
wanted to
perfect.
stop. That's
Overlapping
a
the
good
red.
stone there from Ina Forrest.
Yeah, and those guards are staggered on an angle in front. Neither one of those stones could be run back. There's lots of congestion in front of the rings. If the Koreans can execute this angle takeout, this raise, I think they can go right through. Let's see which turn it is.
He starts with that high elbow and then swings it through, gives it a bit of body English. Needs this to come back. Running wide at the moment. Oh, in off the wide one. Oh, just squirms one down there. Finishes in a little bit of a nuisance spot there for Korea.
Yeah, there's, you gotta wonder if there's any way to run any of those red stones back. Might have just created a great setup for Korea. It's complicated, but there's a little bit of danger there for Canada.
A little more is not going to hurt, ain't it?
So for Mark Idison's first rock here in the
13.5,
bronze
right?
medal game.
Gets us top.
Yeah.
He gets the skip's favorite shot, a guard. Or I guess the skip's favorite shot would be a draw for 6.
Yeah, yeah,
Open
agreed.
draw for 6.
But you know, if you're a skip and you're throwing guards, then you know your team are playing well. So yeah, you're usually quite happy to throw a guard. I guess if you're lying 5, the same the same remains. Looks pretty good here. Just somewhere touching that tram line. Perfect.
Nice shot, Mark.
Maybe a little bit closer to the house than we would have liked, but
Nice
still a
shot,
great
is that
shot
right?
there by Mark Idison.
Yeah.
Now
여기 이 정도 맞아야 되거든 이게.
Sun
너무
Seok
맞아야 될 것 같은데.
is going to try and see if he's got the angle to sit 3.
앵글 나와 앵글.
앞에 필드도 괜찮으니까 한번 해보자.
1앵글니까 상대 저거 하나 들어가 있고 우리 거 3개 들어가 있잖아요.
Well, this looks like it might be a fun shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit as much as you can see of the middle yellow stone near the center line. Run it back. Tap, tap.
자, 앵글 나와요.
Take
거기?
out.
앵글 나온 것 같아.
As the Korean coach and alternate,
여덟,
Chong
여덟.
Chul
그래도
and
그럼
Lee
빨간 거
Dong-gat.
옆구리 맞아도 돼.
허투려도.
8!
빨간 거 옆구리 맞아도 돼.
두 번째 샷.
So yeah, they're turning into a
8초!
bit of an overnight superstar
스콘 많으니까 웨이트가 좀.
in the opening ceremony.
배팅!
Well, Cha Jae-gwan back out on the ice. The fourth player actually came off around the half-time stage in the semi-final. Wasn't performing. I wonder if that will have affected his confidence a little bit. That doesn't really do anything, that shot there. Maybe opens up the raise, but pretty sure we'll see Canada try and get another one into the house.
That way? Yeah,
They could choose to guard that raise, but that,
guard that bump in.
Give me edge.
because now the raise is available this way, that way. I think Canada should probably draw. The rocks are
Yeah.
open on both sides.
I'm more comfortable on the other side. Screws up their little thing.
Just
Getting
into
a little bit
into the
of thought
white.
here. I think the problem is that everything's
Even if he's short. just put
the whole kind of area between the 2 4-foot lines are covered,
doing,
so they
Mark?
need to go out very, very wide on
Put
the
another
sheet
one
and
in
play
there.
some
Okay,
unknown ice.
just make sure you take enough ice, right?
We've seen a lot of curl out wide on the sheets.
I think 12 and a half.
So a little bit of guesswork here. They probably could take more ice than that. We've seen some players right out taking ice at the edge of the foam. No points for really chipping the guard.
That would be negative points for chipping the guard in this situation, because that opens up shot rock. So Mark looking for anywhere into the 8-foot. Line looks really nice. Weight is absolutely
Nice shot, Mark.
perfect.
Nice shot.
That's a great shot by Mark Idison. Canada line 2 here in the first end.
I got 12-3 on that, Mark.
A little bit slower out there, out wide. Now,
기본으로 한 개는 나와. 화이팅!
Korea are just looking at what raise they want to play here. I think one of the main difficulties about this is that they probably are all lined up. They could hit yellow onto yellow, onto red, onto red, onto yellow, onto yellow. But there's so many stones to move.
Yeah, I would probably
Couple
use the
of big
middle
headache.
stone here. Less granite to run the energy through. Because every time a rock hits, it transfers a percentage of its momentum to the next rock, to the next rock, and to the next rock. And the more you've got to run through, the faster that momentum disappears.
Well, it's a disaster. A real shame. A bad start for Korea. Didn't get that one right at all. And a lovely draw by Mark Idison, putting 2 points on the board in the first end. One end played here in this bronze medal game, and it's Canada 2, Korea 0.
And an early look at the statistics. Each player's only thrown 2 rocks, each team 8. Those statistics should adjust pretty significantly, but we saw that they were absolutely in Canada's favor, and so is the line score. Marie Wright gets us going in the second end. She threw that beautiful centerline guard to open the game. Canada was all over the offense in the opening end. Now they've got the lead. Likely their tactics will shift to become a little bit more defensive, a little more cautious. This rock, they're looking for somewhere in the top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot.
That's good there.
Perfectly done.
I think the button's an okay spot.
It's something that they'll have to deal with later on anyway, the Koreans. May well choose to play a takeout on it now. They are only trailing by 2. There's still a long way to go in this game. 8 ends of play.
Wait.
Doesn't throw the stone that hard, Bang Min-ja. Is it going to make contact? It's drifting away. Oh, complete miss. I wonder if that's one of those moments where you just play to your player's strengths and put another guard up.
Yeah, she actually had pretty good weight in that shot. She had the momentum she needed. She just came out a little bit narrow of the target.
Okay.
And rock over curls and advantage Canada.
Well, just a guard this time for Marie Wright. Korea won't be panicking too much. When these two teams did meet in the round robin, it was Korea who prevailed by a scoreline of 7 shots to 5. Canada looking strong. They played extremely well in the semi-final against China, and on another day it could have been a decision that went their way.
Yeah, they just lost control of the hammer in that semifinal. They did not have the last shot in the last end. The game was all tied. And Canada's got a pretty textbook end going here. And the Republic of Korea is going to look to change this a little bit. Now, that guard is in the free guard zone and cannot be removed from play, but it can be ticked around. You can't remove those rocks from play up in the center of, up above the center of the scoring area, in that white area you see there, until the seconds throw.
And if any stones were removed, they would be replaced. I've seen it happen a few times this week. And Denny Thiessen this time with the guard. Stopwatch is at the ready in the background.
Yeah, each of these players has a responsibility. They might not be the one throwing the rock, but they are trying to get as much information about the pace of the rock, so they're timing it from hog line to hog line, or that foul line to foul line. And then they're going to share that information. They're watching the line. They're watching how many rotations a rock has. And then they get together, they chat about it, they share the information, and they try and help communicate up and down the lineup as best they can. And it looks like Canada's rocking some pretty good information share right now.
Well, the moment has come where Korea can start to open things up. Seo Sun-seok going for the big weight take up the center line here. Not the most powerful player in the team. Deadly accurate.
He accomplishes the first goal. Would love to have just hit and kind of stuck around on the edge of the rings, but he did open it up.
8.6 많이 안 떨어지네 거기가.
So if he had hit a little bit more of that yellow rock we see spinning out of the ring, his shooter would have stuck around on the wings.
Well, just the guard again here. Canada will be quite happy with this situation. A couple of guards out there on the edge of the forfeit blocking the draws. So they're just having to guard the gap in the middle. So it's like another nice guard by Canada. Banks down to touch the center line almost.
We were all leaning like this.
Absolutely great position. So this one's a little bit longer from the scoring area, a little bit further away. Denny Thiessen happy with that. He knows that's a good shot.
약간 보여.
And
지나가면 뒤에 거고 흘려.
there may be a hole that you can get through and play the takeout.
넷 잡아주면 될 것 같아. 넷. 넷.
Looks like they're going to try.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. That's the good input from the far end of the ice. Like, hey, I think there's a hole there. So you can see the grip on the delivery stick and the teammate just behind helping stabilize the chair. This is over curling, but it is going to remove the center guard. Oh no, over curls way too much. Ends up sitting right there in front of the Canadian stone.
아니 클리어 아니었어요? 어? 여기
13 and a half. 13 and a half.
Don't want to touch that one.
What did he say? Can't
Well,
touch
Canada,
that one.
Canada could ever wrap another one around, then Korea would be in all sorts of trouble.
And if anyone has the skills to do it, it's Ina Forrest. An absolute champion in this sport. She's already in the Hall of Fame for Canada. She's got 2 gold medals.
Good, Ina. You're away from it.
Yeah, actually, after the 2014 Paralympic Games in Sochi, Forrest was awarded the best female athlete by the Canadian team. And that's a great draw there from the athlete right down to the top of the button. We would just like to curl half a stone more if we're being really picky.
Yeah, if we're being really picky, just tuck that stone in a little bit further. But that was absolutely perfect weight. She'd like to see it curl a little bit more too.
더.
She's worried that that may have given the Korean squad an opportunity to remove both those yellow stones.
Guard, Ina.
And Korea wrecking on the top stone, opening it up.
13 and a half. 14.
And that's a look at it. That was a great plan B for Korea. They were going for the 2 rocks in the rings. The way to err on that side, the positive outcome would be to peel open the center guard, and that's what they did. And now it is Ina Forrest's job to put a guard right back.
Well, she's telling it to sit and curl at the moment. Perfect. Really good shot by Ina Forrest. Korea may be able to get at the one in the button, but it's actually the one in the other side that's causing them the most grief. There's that high elbow.
Down and through. Pushes the momentum through into the stone. There's a lot of weight here. Oh, just misses the run back. Wanted to just clip those stones in the rings, maybe remove one of them or move them to the back and create some more space. Things are looking a bit dire for the Koreans right now. They are going to need some outstanding shot making from Cha Jae-kwon. They're hopeful that Mark Idison and Team Canada give them a little bit of an opening.
Well, Mark Idison has looked more and more comfortable as the event has gone on. Struggled a little bit in the early stages of the week when there were something like 3 wins and 2 losses, but then really kicked on from there.
Yeah, and just actually had some really tough battles in lots of games. The level of play here has been really, really even for the most part. Don't let the records fool you. The overall records here, there were extraordinary shots made by all these teams. And Team Canada were absolutely able to answer the challenge. Now, in this situation, that guard may be sitting a little bit long, and Korea, they've got a chance. They've got to make it through that port. Remember, they tried earlier in the end.
This is going to be their best and maybe only chance to move the stones in the house.
10초 9 아니었어? 10초 2였어 그때 순석 거.
Cha
10초
Jae-kwon,
2였는데 떨어졌어요.
he struggled in the first 4 ends of the semi-final against Norway, to the point where he was replaced by the alternate, and Seo Sun-suk moved up to throw the last stones.
괜찮아요. 지금부터 떨어지면 돼.
I think he's got a pretty good line here. Needs to curl a bit off the guard. Oh, just chips the guard.
Oh, that's an overcorrection from the last time they tried that path.
It's just the worst time of the week to lose your confidence, and Cha Jae-kwon looks like he's continuing to struggle out there.
It's good. Maybe just a hair less.
Mark Hyson, on the other hand, he's in the round robin. He tended to start the games very slowly, as did Iona Forrest, but now they're in the playoffs. They seem to be bringing their A game, which is not what Korea really need.
And this is a completely different start than they had yesterday against China. Canada was very cautious against China, throwing the rocks in the rings, allowing China just to hit. Today, Canada comes out, they say we're going to be aggressive, we're going to put rocks in play. We know we can manage them as well or better than anyone in the world, and that's what they're showing here today against the Koreans.
They need to play to their strengths, don't they? And I think one of the main strengths of this Canadian team is their strategy. I think by quite some way they're probably the best team strategically that we've seen this week.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. They are very comfortable with what tactics to employ and when. They have clear game plans for situations. There was some soft execution on the tough day that they had in the round robin, and then yesterday I think they just got a little cautious, we don't want to lose instead of playing to win. Today they've come out here playing to win, and Korea is going to need some very high production from this rock if they're going to slow that Canadian squad down. Canada is sitting 3. This is the last stone
라인 괜찮아.
Cha Jae-kwon
웨이트
needs
봐.
one of the best shots of the week.
Well, looks close.
8초.
How many is he going to get? 1, 2, 3. What a shot by Cha Jae-kwon. That is a way to blank an end right there. Did you see that? Wow.
That was fantastic, and the crowd is losing itself, rightly so. All of a sudden, momentum is to Korea. The scoreline still says Canada, but this is going to be quite the match.
2 ends played here. Canada still leading by 2 shots. What a shot there by Cha Jae-kwon. Still continuing to celebrate that amazing stone played by the Korean 4th player. Canada, great stats again in the start of this game. Continuing their good play from the semi-final. You could argue that actually their play is better than the semi-final in that they're playing more difficult shots. It was a pretty cagey affair, the game against China. Third end underway, and Marie Wright looks like they're going to continue to apply the pressure and throw the centre guard. I think this has been a deliberate game plan in that they've tried the defensive thing and thought they can outshoot their opposition or outposition the stones, but actually they're trying something different here and trying to mix things up a bit.
Yeah, they have rewritten their script, and it is working. The rollicking crowd and the extraordinary last shot by Cha Jae-kwon. Canada's going to be okay if they're playing run double takeouts. Forcing their opposition to play run double takeouts this game. So now, PyeongChang using her great skill, drawing right around, sitting in a wonderful spot in the 4-foot, underneath the guard.
Yeah, that's her game, isn't it? Those draws, she's just owned the front of the house throughout the week.
Yeah, she's excellent at takeouts, but they haven't been calling them very often for her. So for Korea to stick with the draw weight, really excellent choice to get them back that couple of points.
Got a curl.
Marie Wright's just overcooked this one by a fraction and drifts on by.
Perfect weight.
Yeah, the weight was great. Just didn't
The weight really was close.
Yeah, the weight was perfect.
But the line, nowhere near.
제일 좋은 건 프레즈까지.
Well, this is the first chance in the game. Really, we've seen Korea have the chance to take the upper hand in the ends.
Throws the same exact rock that she just threw. This looks a little bit lighter. Is it by the guard? Just ticks. That's an okay spot. They would have loved for that to been right down into the rings, into that scoring area.
What do you think for weight here, Ina?
Oh, this is absolutely a change in game plan for Team Canada. 100%. In almost every game we've seen so far, they would be hitting at this point, clearing open the center. Denny Thiessen, their second from Sanford, Manitoba. He missed the first draw, but he's made the rest since through two great guards in the second end. Looking for a little bit of added weight, trying to come right into the forefoot, freeze or nuzzle up next to the Korean stone. He's still got that draw weight.
Well, that one comes
What's
up
the
a
weight
little
there?
bit short, though.
A2가 1초 떨어졌다.
Korea up with a chance to pile another one round now.
Tap in.
2초 후반까지.
Spot.
2초 4,
I'm
2초
just trying to understand what just happened. Why did I come up 6 to 8 feet short? Still has another stone to play in this set in this third end. Lots of ice being taken way out at the edge of the rings. Cha Jae-kwan holding the brush for Seo Sun-seok. It's not so unusual these days for a skip to play stones further down the team, is it?
Yeah, the traditional lineup was you skip through the fourth stones. That was hundreds of years we saw that traditional lineup in the game. And now it's quite common that your best thinker, your best strategist, your best ice maker may not actually be your best thrower, clutch shooter at the end. Each position requires some different skills. Yeah, you probably need all the shots up and down the spectrum, but there are some people who are just a little bit more comfortable given one set of responsibilities versus another. And the skip and throwing fourth rocks, that is all the game on someone's shoulders potentially, and specifically in wheelchair curling, where unlike the traditional version of the game, there's no sweeping. You don't get any help. You are all alone. You've got to be perfect when you throw.
And Dennis Thiessen with another mistake there. That draw from Sun-seok putting the pressure on Canada.
Wait.
And Canada are crumbling a bit here in the third end.
Yeah, Dennis just got a little careful on that second shot. First shot, kind of natural mistake, a new spot on the ice. But that second shot, he needed to give it and try and get all the way down to the red rocks. He's still 8 feet short or so from where he needed to be. Korea made the huge run, double takeout, lose the shooter, or triple takeout, I guess it is, in the end of the second end, and they capitalized on some great offensive draws and really putting the pressure on Canada all of a sudden.
Oh, Mark Idison calling for the takeout on this yellow short stone, trying to drive it into the reds in the house. This is a high tariff shot for Canada. If they don't make this right, then they're just opening the path up for Korea to draw another one in there. So Aina Forrest launches it with that big long cue.
It's running a bit straight. Is she going to get the angle? Oh, just sends it wide and headed silent takeout.
9.
The only noise is the roar of the stone instead of the smash of the stone.
You know, the psychology of this game so far is just fascinating. Canada dominating the first two ends, and then that final stone from Cha Jae-kwan's just turned the feeling of that Korean team on its head.
Yeah, I mean, Canada has missed 4 shots in a row right now. Marie Wright's last stone, both the seconds rocks, and Aina Forrest's first stone, they're zeros. That is, I don't know that we've seen that all week.
그치. 아니 그러니까 또 2초 오라고.
That rollicking crowd,
됐어, 좋아요. 잘 가고 있어.
and
Wait,
maybe
wait.
the energy all of a sudden is feeling
Whoa,
all Republic of Korea.
1초 뒤인데.
Gangneung coming around the outside, trying to lie three, but bit hot here, and this one's going to drift right on through. What a let off.
1초 9. 1초 9. 그러니까 2초 반에서 후반 잡고.
Seung-won,
2초 후반 3초 잡고.
Just
He's
a
the-
smooth 9.
kind of the boisterous one in the team, and all the rest of them are really quite calm and collected. He's much more excitable. Still a bit of like a young buck, although he's 59 years old. He's the oldest player in the team, but so much energy out there.
This team really needs their third to come up big right now. She's being asked to throw the same shot. It's a little bit better angle. No, it's not a little bit better. It's a lot better. Did she stay second shot?
It might be second
Looks like
shot.
it.
Yes.
Great effort here from Ina Forrest. Just need to hit maybe a millimeter more of that stone to stick for shots, but that
2초 반에서
dramatically improves the situation for Canada. Korea have got a bit of work to do to get multiple points on the board here in three.
형님, 얘가 1번이야.
그게 1번이에요.
우리 1번, 3번이라고.
그러니까 2초 후반.
저거 1번을 보호도 할게.
그냥 들어.
2초 후반?
2초 반 후반까지.
It's the same anti-clockwise draw. Needs to make a little bit of an adjustment from his previous one, just take maybe 10 feet off the running.
This definitely has less pace. It's starting to pick up the curl, and as a stone grabs that curl and it starts to move, the sheet gets longer, and
나오세요 일로.
then he comes up short. And
들어오려니까.
Canada's got a chance to tuck one around now.
I'll start it off the line. So give me like
Tapping yellow.
middle of
Well, I assume that Korea were trying to throw the draw there. It's always a little bit
On that
risky
side, yeah.
guarding stones that
Yeah,
are
we're
back of the tee line, because
Yeah, because you just need to get in there.
Yeah.
Mark Addison
So
can
middle-
always
middle of
follow
the-
it
or just
around
outside
and
the
make the
12 there.
freeze.
I
Yeah,
think we
on
need more.
championship ice, that
And
is
'cause I'm gonna
curling
start it off the
so
line.
much, moving from right to left for the
I like
shooter
a
in
little
this
more, yeah.
situation. It's really hard to guard. And especially when Mark has seen a bunch
you
of
need here,
rocks
Mark?
come down this path.
I think you need a good 12 and a half hit.
Yeah.
They've
It's
got
gonna have to
information.
curl a long
Yeah, I know
way.
it's going to have to curl. Just make sure you take enough ice if you do.
They should have a pretty good idea of what it's doing over here. He did throw this line at least once in the first end.
Yep.
Just bring it a little bit wider maybe.
12.
Good crowd in here in the Gangneung Curling Centre. This is quite an important shot here. If Mark Addison can make this one and stop Korea from scoring multiple points.
It's
13-8.
light. Just nowhere near enough pace on that stone.
13-8.
Didn't throw it.
It's tough out there in the wings. He did say it's going to have to curl a lot.
Yeah.
It means it's a longer distance, the more
지금
curl a stone
열어줘버리면
gets.
상대가 들어와 버린단 말이야.
It's
안
already
된다고.
about 35 meters he was looking for.
이 사이로 들어오라 한번 하자.
저쪽에 1번이면
바짝 붙여가지고 런백 봐버리면 돼.
어차피
일단
저거 3번이니까 탭
12초 초반으로 올게. 12초 초반. 통 맞아도 되니까.
툭 맞으면 안 돼.
안쪽만 해, 안쪽.
No, it was this
안쪽만
guy that
하면
played that
돼.
amazing final shot, the
바깥으로
second
맞으면 안
end.
돼.
Definitely one of the top shots we've seen this week.
들어가는 길이 열리니까
Yeah, in this shot,
마지막
they're just going to try and nuzzle in
뭐
just
하는 거야?
inch
뭐야?
들어오.
the Canadian stone. off the forefoot.
그럼 들어가고 이제 넘백 볼 거야?
They believe they can get
넘백이 아니고
by the
탭을
guards,
어.
curl
2초
enough,
반. 2초 반
tuck in.
잡아요.
But even if their
Yeah.
weight's close, they should be able to make the draw here. We have seen the stones finish quite nicely, but
2초 반.
per the Canadian lead second stone, if you overthrow it at all, it can run a little bit straight. And hitting the Canadian stone on the outside edge would be disaster for Korea.
더.
This is running very wide.
해야 돼 이제.
It's got to curl a ton.
2초 3. 좋아요.
Doesn't want to hit the outside of this yellow. Doesn't want to push Canada in for a shot. Oh, just sneaks on by.
That's the danger of making that call.
지금 저 노란 거를 우리가 툭 쳐주면 그게 점수가 되지. 그럼 13도로
Just sneaks by that Yellowstone. Any sort of a touch in there, and Canada could have been pushed into shot position.
I'm not going to throw a pile of weight at it. I think middle of 12, Ina.
What are you throwing? 11
I'm throwing like 11, yeah.
at least, eh? Because it's
Make a
12
little-
to get here, so
Eh?
11 at least.
A little less? Yeah.
Very softly spoken Mark Idison. Not sure what they've decided to call here in the end.
Down the middle? Right around on the left side. Can't get your second shot. Yeah, but if you hit our yellow.
That's their only way in, right?
No.
If we knock that out of there.
That's what?
That's their only way in for 2 if we knock that out of the way, eh?
Well, what if we play the middle one? Tap, tap.
Yeah,
We're not
I'm
gonna-
just thinking if you take that away, that's their only way in. Right, then they can draw there.
Is the way he just threw
Right?
it. And he just
So what do you like? I don't want to burn too much
If
time
they, if
here.
they wanted to go that way, let's go that way.
We
'cause
can't
that's where
get
they're
second shot though. That there's no danger over there. What if we play the yellow
Just come
yellow?
on and fill
What
it.
if we play the yellow yellow and bump?
Try that.
Like it's not going to hurt us, right?
Well, everybody's
Well,
drawing up their own play here.
we're
The
second,
so
coaching
we
bench
don't wanna
has
panic.
one.
Can't
The
bang ours
players have
tall.
got one. I'm sure you've got one on.
Well, I would say
What if we come in
that
off
red
our wide
stone
yellow
on
one?
the left
Yeah. I
of
like
your
that.
screen that is covering the yellow
guard it,
stone,
this side.
biting the forefoot, they can't go anywhere near that
Yeah, we
rock.
don't want to open it up.
They can. Canada cannot afford to open that side up. They need to stay away from the left side. Opening up the right side,
You
it's
just gotta
not ideal
barely
either.
nick it, eh?
You know,
Go off of that yellow one,
I actually
Mark?
don't
Where you wanna
mind
go?
Mark Idison's thought
as long
of
as you're
playing
not
down
going
the
here, the
center
middle
line,
yellow.
but he's got to know where to set the broom down. He can't afford
Slashing
to
it in
move
there.
any of those
We
guards.
can't hurt ourselves if we run into ours. And
So is he playing the in-off here? I think this is the least amount of trouble for them and potentially could do the most amount of damage. So this is going to be an upweight takeout. He's looking to hit just a little bit of the stone that's sitting out in the corner off the rings and roll his shooter onto the forefoot.
Well, the difficulty of this shot to make it perfectly is pretty much a full 10 out of 10 on this one.
Oh, and lots of wobble because he needs to generate the momentum.
stay up. Stay up. Or curl. No.
Also caught in no man's land a little bit there. I think he was going to try and hit
Got a
the
tough shot
outside
for one.
actually rather than come off the inside.
Got a tough
Kind of ends
shot
up with
for-
nothing.
To get us out of
Yeah,
there.
firing in the outside
They've
is
got one now, right?
really
Yeah.
a challenging shot. Actually, somewhat harder than maybe getting all the way to the inside. But either way, I think it was wise to leave all those guards out front and not risk touching any of them. And now it's Korea's turn to figure out a way in there.
얇아질 것 같은데.
두꺼워야 돼. 두꺼워야 저까지 밀고 가려면.
아 가건데 얘는 인아웃을 때리면 돼. 인아웃으로.
아깝다.
Oh, maybe they can come off the wide one.
아니 저거
Why not?
아니
Could be a
저거를
shot
낮게
for
맞추면
4
더
if they get it
빠르잖아요.
absolutely perfect.
인아웃 때릴 거야. 아웃톤은 안 돼. 인턴으로 해야 돼, 인턴으로.
자, 아빠. 조금만 더 붙여줘.
최근에 저거 잘 맞추면 저쪽에 노란 게 빠지겠네. 파이팅!
얇은 게 좋을 것 같아, 얇은 게.
10초 정도 하면 돼.
So big shot here. Final stone of the third end coming here for Cha Jae-gwan. We saw an unbelievable takeout to finish the second end.
10초?
What can he produce here in the third?
타이트해.
Coming in off the wide one. 3 Korean stones already in there, and maybe they
오케이,
can get that
나이도.
Canadian one out. So how does it look? Needs to just chip off this wide one. Close, but just over the top. Great attempt by Cha Jae-gwan.
잘했어요, 그래도.
I think it's only going to be a score of 1 though. The 2 vice players go in for a look. And I think once they've had a chance, then it's just going to be a score of 1 for Korea. An entertaining end though, lots of stones in play once again. That's what we want to see. Just the one there. Great effort there by Cha.
잘했어, 그래도. 자,
Korea score 1 in the third end and tighten things up to a one-shot game after 3. Stats just coming down a little bit there
안 들어올까 봐.
in the third end. Korea not making as many shots as we've seen so far, only 43% for the game. And Bang Min-ja gets the 4th end started, the final end of the first half. 8 ends to play in total. This one maybe just going to sneak in the front door. And the Koreans seem reasonably happy with that. They shouldn't be.
They should not be. Canada can remove it from play. It's touching the scoring area. The free guard zone rule is not in effect at this point for that rock. But the upside for Canada, they can play the hit and get a rock into the free guard zone. If you're going to slip on the rings, young curlers out there with your first rocks, you want it to be all the way on. That rock over curls a bit for Canada, and that rolls all the way onto the rings.
Nice roll. Good job.
They're okay with that, but I'd like to see Canada stick to its more aggressive tactics. I know we saw 4 misses in the middle of the lineup in the last end. I don't think that's going to happen again for them. That was a pretty unusual string of shots, and they still ended up with the first, forcing Korea to a single point.
It looks like Korea just happy to run this end through. It's been an action-packed first 3 ends, so maybe the players just need a little bit of a breather here in 4.
Yeah, it's been high level of difficulty shots, lots of rocks in play, complicated scenarios. You might have to give your brain and your heart a break, because you know their hearts are beating so hard. the bronze medals on the line. Out there, they want to do all they can for the countries that they represent, for all the work that they put in, and these athletes work so hard. All of that impacts every rock that they put into play.
Very right, just hits and rolls out. It'll be interesting to see what the Koreans' next call is.
저거 안
Well, I
물렸잖아요.
think this says a lot about what they're thinking in this end. They're thinking blank.
Yeah, Korea will give no quarter. There is going to be nowhere to hide for Canada if Korea has anything to say about it. This hit, though, they can roll right to the center of the rings. They can stay above the tee line. Now, Seo Son-seok has had a little bit of trouble with his takeouts today.
Whoa! Whoa!
Maybe over curling. Oh, no. Actually, the opposite. Misses on the wide side. There's not really a great amount of opportunity there for Canada with the stone being so wide on the ice, but they can try and generate something. Need to be right out on the edge of the house, just touching the rings to be hidden.
Yeah, I don't even know that they need to be hidden. I think they just want to up the level of difficulty of the next shot. You know, and remember, Denny has been short. He's been a little light on his rocks. If this rock should be light here, that's not the end of the world. It's early in the end. It would sit for a corner guard. So there's a couple of options. This one's definitely not light. Lots of rotation. It needs to slow down.
Stop, 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 stop.
Gotta hang on just in the back of the rings.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit with his draws, Danny, especially in the last end.
너무 많아.
He's well below his average for that shot so far this game.
타이트하면 안 돼.
Well, this time Korea are going to play on the stone in the house, the one in the scoring position. Jung in behind Seo there, just holding the ship still.
더 가야 돼. 더. 훅 떨어지. 8.7.
Another complete miss here by Seo. Very unusual from the Korean skip.
It's just two rocks, just disaster.
Well, out of nowhere, I keep saying that, but it does seem to happen a lot that the play will be in the house and it'll be a complete mess, and then the opposition will split the rings. That's what's going to happen here. Dennis Thiessen drawing one over to the other side, getting it into a scoring position to lie two and creating good distance between the two Canadian stones. That's the plan.
Go, get in there. Go. Get in there, go.
That's fine, Dennis.
Comes up short. That's a big miss there by Canada.
Yeah,
What's the weight on it?
14.
Denny
13?
just having a little bit of trouble managing
달라요 또.
up and down the scale of weight.
수저 좀 더 붙여줘.
아니야. 맞아요.
붙여도 돼.
흠이에요.
아니 소가 있잖아.
Well, Jung Soon Won to play now. And after those two consecutive misses by Korea, you get a miss from Canada, and it's a real let-off. Soon Won can make the hit. Oh, and he as well misses on the inside.
쳐다보고 나가잖아. 다시.
What is happening here in N4 after two really high quality ends to start the game? The standard seems to be slipping here in this bronze medal game.
And that is a wide open shot. That is a basic kind of shot that you're looking for. Just a little bit narrow of his target, and they are curling there. You know, sometimes when a rock is in the back of the rings, you set the ice for a normal hit, but it's got 12 feet more space that you're managing. And Korea needs to take a little bit more ice on that shot. They've missed it twice the exact same way. Need to give themselves an opportunity to make it. And now Ina Forrest has an opportunity to use Denny Thiessen's guard as a place to hide. Great weight.
Good shot, Ina.
Sits out a little bit.
Nice shot.
It is visible.
Did it get over?
I got 12-3 on that. Okay.
It didn't get over.
Well, Korea need to get their act together and quickly here in this fourth end if they don't want to fall further behind. They're playing a very soft end at the moment. Good shot here from Sungwon. Will it hold for shot? It won't. Just slips out of the rings, and Ina Forrest can play that same draw again. First one we've seen make contact for a while, though.
Yeah, that's good news. Very good news. And I think they're getting caught a little bit between weights. The Korean team throwing maybe a little bit more, and then they're missing their line because of it. That's the woman who very rarely misses her line, and in particular on draws. You see her setup, her delivery is so steady. I say it all the time because that's what you're looking for as an athlete in the sport of curling. That's what you want. You want to create a very consistent process.
Nice
You
shot,
want to be
Ina.
lined up exactly at the target. Remove the variables that you're dealing with each throw, and have the variable be how much momentum you put on the rock, not what line it's on.
And it was a perfect line from Ina Forrest right in behind the guard. Maybe just slips a foot too far. Korea could play a freeze.
저거 2초 2예요.
And I think when
때리는 게 문제야.
그럼 2초 반에서 후반.
때린다니까.
아, 저거?
you're running out of rocks, and you've got to maybe start seeing those Canadian stones in the rings as your friends. Stones that can hold you into play, but nope, they're going for the takeout in the back of the ring.
좋아요. 좋아. 8초 3.
Basically conceding a score of 2 here.
자.
No, actually, I mean, Canada could try and throw a freeze on that stone. It's right at the back of the house. They could lie 2, and then could still be a chance to score 3 here for Canada.
Yeah. Canada's going to try and tuck another one underneath, and if this is another way for them to score 3.
I got 12 on Ina's.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, this is a big call here from Mark Idison.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get this quite right, then he could set up a double. We've seen that Cha Jae-guan is good at those big weight takeouts. Personally, I think the freeze at the back of the house may be a safer shot, but
Yeah, this is a way to let Korea off the hook if you should happen to touch the guard or sit out a little bit.
he's got a very good line here. Is it in for second shot? It is. Nice shot by Mark Idison. Didn't want to leave Korea with that draw. May still be a chance around the left-hand side. Seo just trying to find out how much the Korean fourth player can see from the hack of that first stone.
I think maybe the shot now is around the wide side.
때릴까?
I wonder if there's a learning opportunity here for this Korean team strategically,
자, 들어갈
And
거야.
because they've really kind of set themselves up for this. They played a very, very negative shot and hitting the wide stone. And Canada have punished them for it.
우리 시간이 많이 좀 신경 써야 돼. 17분 남았어.
So they're just going to try and pick that Yellowstone out of there to give up 2. Not really what you need when you're already trailing by 1. And remember, there was no guards in play in this end either.
Yeah, they started out completely open, all defense, and then 3 misses in a row. From Korea, those middle rocks. It was. And this is not going to make the impact they were hoping for.
Well, a really poor end from Korea. I can't think of one shot that was made perfectly in that end by the Koreans. Very average play.
And it's, you know, to your point, the tactics.
Just a edge of 8.
Not there, and to take advantage of the reality that you're facing.
Well, this should be a formality here for Mark Idison. Just needs to find his way into the white circle to score 3. The only thing he needs to be aware of is that he can't over curl onto his own and come onto the face, then he wouldn't get 3rd shot. So
This is where he's come up a little light this week, defending these draws for extra points. This is not the first time that this has happened. Unfortunately for Mark, he could have thrown about 12 more feet.
That's okay, Marco. We got 2.
But yeah, as Marie Wright
Good job.
cheers her skip up, it is okay. They achieved the goal that they probably had at the beginning of that end, which was to score 2 points.
I was going to remind you.
well, after 4 ends, the teams have a 5-minute break, and they're leading Korea by 4 shots to 1.
And we'd like to congratulate our winner of Rock Radio. If you listen to Korean or English Rock Radio, text us questions, and this fine gentleman is our Rock Radio.
Korea really struggling. Gangneung only 31%. She's the best lead in the round robin. She's not found her form here, but
그러니까 고민을
the
했어요.
whole
콕
Korean
들어가
team really
도로
struggling.
할까?
Just too many easy shots missed. And PyeongChang there, the Korean coach, trying to work out what's going wrong out there so they can make more shots in the second half. Didn't make a team change during the semi-final. They brought off the 4th player. Canada playing pretty well overall. Good play by Marie Wright, 88% at the lead position, and Aina Forrest continuing her good form from the semi-final. But Dennis Thiessen there really struggling to find his feel, his draw weight. Mark Idison, of course, he just missed that final draw there of the 4th end to put a 3rd point on the board.
It's a 3-3. It's back 12.
We don't need nothing long.
If it's back 12, your next one's going to be a hit.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. That's how we got to go now.
And that seems to be what they agree at the halftime breaks. What's going to be the strategy in the second half? Wayne Keel and Wendy Morgan in there. Korea 37% on their draws. They're just getting killed in all areas by Canada at the moment. And Swisselm's favourite song on in the arena at the moment, Gangnam Style by PSY.
Like Psy?
Yep. Loves a bit of K-pop.
Oh, K-pop taking the world by storm. One of the great gifts of the PyeongChang 2018 Games.
And the players making their way back out onto the playing surface for the second half. Only 4 ends left. Four ends to give themselves the chance to get a medal. Big final push in what's been a long event. We've already played 12 games of curling this week. Of course, the event increasing from 10 to 12 nations taking part for this edition of the Paralympic Games. And it's a long, long round robin.
Yeah, it is the largest championship the sport has ever seen. No one has ever played an event this long in this sport. So, again, impossible to train for. Really impossible to train for. And these teams here in the medal rounds, Canada, Korea, and in the gold medal game, China and Norway, really just doing extraordinary athletic work to get through that very challenging round robin and here into the medal rounds.
Marie Wright gets the 5th end underway. The 5th end of 8. And drifts one into the front of the house. A good start there from the Canadian lead.
Yeah, that 3-point lead.
13초 초반까지 나와야죠. 반까지.
Korea struggling a little bit in the last end, kind of losing their way tactically and execution-wise.
Minja way below her tournament best, her tournament average. Just 31% in this game.
It's actually quite shocking. Maybe the pressure of the situation getting to her.
Yeah, her lowest game this week was actually in game 2, 51%. She's been very good since then.
Yeah, she's had games as up into the 80% execution.
Marie Wright knows what she's doing though. She's got full control of the conditions out there. 89% is just fabulous stats.
What a time to be having your best game of the week.
Maybe a little bit clumsy that one, but puts 2 yellow stones in the house, and
that's where they wanted them.
That's good. Got 2 in.
She's lots of sighs of relief at the end of her rocks. You've got a 3-point lead. You've got 4 ends left to play. You know, the win is there for the taking for Team Canada. They've got to make sure they stay settled, and keep executing at this level. And Korea needs to find their groove.
it just looks like a kind of tap back weight here from Bang Min-ja. Actually maybe going for a takeout. And she makes it, opens up the draw behind the corner guard. Good shot there by Bang Min-ja, a good end. Much needed as well after a difficult first half. Canada quite happy to play in the house, and I'm sure Denny Thiessen quite happy to play a takeout. So here is Denny Thiessen, the left-hander. He's running a little bit inside at the moment. Perfectly done, down onto the nose.
Nice shot. Must have thrown good weight there. Was it weight? Good job.
Well, Cha Jae-Guan taking over in the house as the skip. Seo Sun-seok makes his way down to the other end of the ice to throw his
인턴으로 할게.
second player stones. No, and Korea are 3 shots behind here. We've got 4 ends to go. How offensive do they need to be at this stage?
Well, at some point they're gonna need to put some rocks in play, and Seo Sun-seok has had a little bit of trouble with takeouts. They've been errant. He's sent some wide, some narrow, overthrown some. It might be time to try and play some more touch weight shots, because even though that will move the Canadian stronger, it doesn't move the needle over much
It's out, Dennis.
for
Get one in there.
the Koreans.
웨이터는 괜찮은데.
They're gonna have to start drawing.
Just draw behind, or even if you stop above. Yeah, even if you stop.
I'd rather draw behind.
Yeah.
Because you control.
Yeah.
We don't need them spread.
No, just throw draw weight.
Well, there's a couple of options here for Canada. They could play a draw or a tap up on that yellow stone, but one
I think
option that I
12.5,
don't think they
yeah.
looked at was just peeling the guard.
Peeling the guard. So,
And the draw shot hasn't been Dennis Thiessen's friend so far in this game.
yeah, he's thrown a lot of them and is definitely struggling down below 40% execution-wise.
And another mistake, he actually guards the stone and gives Korea something else to work with. I think that's a tactical error there from Canada.
Yeah, and you know, that was a situation for Mark Idison for the Canadians to give
아니면 저리도 있어.
their second appeal, change things up for him,
여기로 할래?
let him throw some big weight.
좀 앞으로 많이 나와야 돼.
And now Korea's getting a little creative. You gotta like to see this. This is a tricky spot to throw a draw. You can see Cha having to move all the way up the boards, create quite the wide line of delivery. But the Koreans need to do something extraordinary to move the momentum and get some confidence, get some rocks in scoring positions.
And you can hear the pebble cracking underneath the stone because there's never been a stone out this wide on the sheet. Is it by the guard? It isn't, just chips it.
But that was hopeful because that was a really good idea. So it's like all of a sudden they've figured out tactically what they need to be attempting, and now they've opened up that line.
12.5.
So the next rock coming down there is going to have space.
Ina Forrest having a great game, 75%, producing our best stuff here in the playoffs.
Yeah, both of these Canadian women on this squad saving their best for last.
It's looking dandy.
She's got the line.
12.4.
It's all about the weight. She'd love to sit above the tee line.
Shot, I
Maybe just a hair heavy, but
Little
in
deep, but
a
that's okay.
fantastic position. With that rock so close to the center of the house. Oh, and just a quick little update. Republic of Korea has made a player change. Gangneung was removed from the game at the halfway point, and Lee Dong-ga was brought in. Now, this is a really challenging set of circumstances. This is this athlete's first rock.
Wait! Wait!
Comes in the middle of the bronze medal game.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
And this is the problem, a little bit too much speed. It's so difficult to come in cold off the bench and know the playing conditions and be able to make shots straight off the bat. He's not had any practice like the players would have had before the game.
Even stop top 8 iron.
But it seems to be something that's quite commonly done in the wheelchair curling event.
Yeah, and in particular, this was the Korean team made this exact choice yesterday in the semifinal. It did not work for them. I am surprised that it would happen again here, but it may be the energy change that the team needs. You never know, those intricate moments, that personalities, how they're interacting, how they're impacting one another. They spend a lot of time together, but you never know, a change might give the Koreans the kind of oomph they need to get back into this. And
how do you think a change like that will affect the Canadians?
You know, they probably feel confident about it. I mean, quite frankly, you see your opposition struggling so much that they pull a player in the middle of the game. I know that would certainly give me a bit of a boost.
Well, Lee Dong-ga was not even close really with that first one. Needs to make quite a big adjustment to make this second shot of the game for him.
Yeah, the good news with the first one, though, that little bit of heavy weight created some space in the scoring area, gave a little bit more space than just the 1 foot.
And he's made a great adjustment here, though, and gets down onto the edge of the button to lie one for Korea. Great shot there by Lee Dong-ga.
Could he end up being the hero of this game? Korea needs one. They're down by 3.
At least go with the 10.
A little less.
They're fighting a tough playing, smart playing Canadian team.
From a Canadian perspective, though, you've got to think back to second stones, and they had the chance to peel the guard and only have 1 stone in play, and look at all those stones in there now.
It's just a mess.
When there's more stones in play, the difficulty of the shots goes up, and this one, not a gimme for Mark Idison.
No, there's a bit of space. Mark playing pretty much on par. He missed that open draw for 3, and got those free points, that open draw for the extra point. Oh, and this rock's picked. So it's lost its handle. It's curling the opposite direction.
Oh, that is very untimely for Canada. Trying to make the freeze. Doesn't get the rotation.
It must have been, it looked fine. It must have been just past 90.
So he's taking responsibility for it. Not that there was a piece of debris on the ice or a flat spot or something, but it was his technique that went errant on him, and then the stone went errant down the line.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa!
So now Jae Guan trying to make the draw in front of that stone from Lee Dong-ga. And he's missed it. He's put it right through. And Canada still lying in second shot. What an opportunity for Korea.
Make sure your handle's set.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Idison won't want a rerun of that previous one.
No,
Let's make sure I put some rotation on this one.
Gives himself the business a little bit.
I like Markaitis in it. He's got a very dry sense of humor.
Yeah, he's pretty steely out there, but he knows what went wrong there. He knows he can control it and fix it on this next one.
This one definitely spinning, but maybe carrying a little bit too much speed. And drifts past the shot stone. Another mistake there by Canada, and Korea with a chance to close the game to one shot. That stone in there played by the Korean alternate, Lee Dong-ga. And maybe he is going to make the difference here. So anywhere in the white 8-foot circle for Korea. And there's an expectant crowd in here. Looks like it's going to come onto the back one. Will it stick for two? It won't. It travels too far, and that yellow stone on the right-hand side of the white circle looks like it's in second shot position. Only one for Korea. What a let-off for Canada. Such a shame. There really was no need for that one to travel all the way down there. He just played that shot. Just needed to take a tiny bit of weight off it. Wasn't able to do so. And yeah, Forrest happy with that. Canada all of a sudden huge favourites for the bronze medal. 5 ends played here. They've got a 2-shot lead. And when we come back in the 6th, Canada will have the last stone.
Talking a little bit about these game statistics. Canada pretty steady between draws and takeouts, up in the middle 60 percentile. Korea still struggling to execute those draw shots, and that's what they're going to need. They are down by 2. They are going to need rocks in play. There's 3 ends left. And it all starts right here. Setting up to take advantage of the free guard zone. Bang Minga opens beautifully.
Well, Marie Wright's been having a great game. Still a little bit too early to be taking the foot off the gas.
Speaking of the foot on the gas, this one is racing right through the back of the rings.
I knew it was too much when I left.
That's her first miss. She's still, as it sits, the star of the game so far. She's up near in the 80th percentile. No one's even close to her out there on the sheet, but she's going to have to finish pretty strong. The lead rocks really determine how you can stick to your plan. It gives you the opportunity to set up to score. It also sets you up the opportunity to play defense. And Canada being up by 2 points, they want to play defense. Korea being down by the 2. They want rocks in play. They're in the free guard zone. They are stacked up in front of the forefoot. It's good news for Korea.
So same shot again here for Marie Wright. Very easy to overcompensate here and come up short, but you don't want to leave Korea any additional guards to work with. And this one running a little bit wide, but good weight.
Better weight, just a little wide.
Marie calling the game for us. That is perfect weight. And this is fantastic news for the fans for Korea. This freeze attempt, this call, draw, using rocks into your favor. They've got to steal a couple of points.
Whoa.
This looks a little pacey. It's got to start to slow down and curl.
Oh, this one needs to hold on. This one needs to stop. It's right on through the house. It was a great call, but poorly executed. Now, Canada calling a centre guard, which is not advisable from my perspective.
Tight guard.
Well, it is
Tight guard.
dangerous. It's dangerous to leave those two rocks, the red rocks in front of the rings, and then to add a third one there. If somehow Korea could get around, bury one underneath, it would be as difficult for Canada to get it out as anyone.
I think when you're playing in these situations, you have to think about the scoreboard. The Canadian team's leading by 2 at the moment, playing the 6th end. There's just 2 ends to come after this one. Even if you just score 1, you've got a 3-shot lead, then you're a huge favourite. So by throwing guards, then you're risking giving up a steal along the way here. So
yeah, lucky for Canada, I think, in some ways, that Denny Thiessen ended up being a little bit heavy and slipping into the rings. Pulls the play in the rings, but they didn't make any move on those centerline guards. And let's just keep watching that and see if that is what comes into play later in the end. Can Seo Sun-suk get a rock tucked underneath? And, just really struggling. He is really struggling.
it's that clockwise rotation, isn't it? He's missed a lot of takeouts on the inside with that one, and
He's just not getting to the target. He is just on the inside of all of his targets, and he needs to really, the next time he throws in 7th end, needs to line himself up, do an extra double check that everything is lined up, and then go for it. Because that is, it's happening on way too many stones for him.
so again, Canada going with the guard option. And this one doesn't cover the yellow stones in the house. That's a really useful stone for Korea. It baffles me a little bit that nobody in the Canadian team puts their hand up and says,
let's peel that red rock in the middle.
yeah. It isn't a dictatorship calling the the tactics in the game. It is a team sport, and you will hear the likes of Aina Forrest and Dennis Thiessen pipe up from time to time and say, no, I don't like this shot, maybe we should do this instead, Mark. Again, Korea missing on the inside and peeling the center guard. Lee Dong-ga this time. Korea really struggling in this game. They're playing 40% as a team. Seo Sun-suk only playing 31%. Cha Jae-gwon 35%. They're really going to have to make a lot more shots if they want to win this bronze medal.
And as things are right now, it's close. I mean, they could get just a couple of points.
Curl up, curl.
You know, throwing all these takeouts, they had called the draw. It was hopeful.
This is a better guard this time from
Nice shot, Hein.
Ina Forrest.
13.
Directly in line.
And now there's not a good spot for South Korea to put a rock. If they come around the wide side, it'll be open down the middle. It's a pretty frustrating set of circumstances when you don't get any production out of 2 or 3 rocks in a row.
And the takeouts are getting more and more difficult because Korea haven't been able to move any of these yellow stones in the house when they had the chance. So Cha Jae-gwan in there, steadying Lee Dong-ga. Somebody needs to steady the ship as well here for Korea, or this bronze medal could get away from them quite quickly. Oh my. This is going from bad to worse for Korea at the moment.
You know, it almost seems like each miss is just begetting another miss.
Hitting this way either.
Mark, do you want a timeout? One of you guys should talk about it. Because they can still go around the other way.
You know, Marie Wright is spot on sometimes. She seems to pipe up at exactly the right moments and say, I think we need to give this a little bit more thought because Canada could effectively end the game here. This is a big moment in the match. Going to pile more stones to the front of the house though.
So you got to be in the house here.
So I think Canada wants this rock into the rings.
Ina Forrest composes herself and sends her final stone at the 6th end on its way. Trying to sneak one into the front of the house here, looking a little bit short of speed at the moment. And throws out another center guard, and that could give an out for Korea. That was another poor tactical call there by Canada.
Yeah, Korea had nowhere to hide a rock until that stone went into play. Yes, there was a red guard out there at the front of your screen, but the way the ice curls and where you would have to sit, it would be accessible because it was kind of high in the field of play. Lots of space between it and your hiding spot. Now Canada cannot go down the center. The scoring space is small. This needs to be perfectly into the middle of the forefoot, touching the button. But there's a chance.
You can't give your opposition this sort of chance. Cha Jae-gwan only 17% for draws. He's played a pretty good one here. Doesn't get hidden, but does make the scoring area a lot smaller. And Canada may have to try and move that one. It's been a tough game for Cha Jae-gwan. A lot of highs and lows. He had that huge shot in the second then to blank, but otherwise there's not been a lot to write home about.
Yeah, I think other than that shot, really, he hasn't executed at a very high level at all. And, you know, the Koreans really doing everything they can. They made the lineup change. They're trying everything. This end, they've had 3 wide misses. We got 0 production out of shots. Canada tried to help him out with maybe a tactical mishap.
I like that, a tactical mishap.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who calls it a dull moment. Sorry, I had a dull moment there.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the tactics and choices that we would make. We understand, for those of you watching through the screen, seeing what we can see directly above the houses, the field of play, it's a lot easier for us than the angles the players are given. Oh, talk about angles
We're
players
sitting one.
being given. Cha Jae-gwon will have a chance to take advantage of some changed angles with that missed shot from Team Canada.
It's a second bite of the cherry for Cha Jae-gwon. He's just made this draw, taking a little bit less ice with this one.
웨이트 좋았어요.
Canada have really masterminded their own downfall here in this end. They're in such a strong position before that 6th stone of the end. Laina Forrest dropped the guard.
잘 가고 있어요.
This one's looking pretty close, maybe a little bit speedy. Could come in off his own one. It's going to curl inside, and what a draw from Cha Jae-gwon. Just comes up a fraction shy. What an attempt.
모자라 이만큼.
Oh, if that had 2 inches more pace. Really great shot there.
It's one of those moments where you think, oh, come on, that deserved to be there. Or you wish that you had a sweeper just to carry those extra few inches.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 brush strokes from the traditional game where sweeping is
How much you
allowed.
gonna throw?
Hey,
That stone isn't just close, it's perfect.
you like burning a
Like you have to make sure you get inside.
Is there a double?
you like burning a timeout here?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we called a timeout.
I think a timeout's been called here by Canada. They know this is a big moment.
Pretty tough to get to. We'd have to hit it
You have to hit it.
half a rock, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the
Who
rest
shot
is-
Ina?
And the rolling, like not much, eh?
No, are we shot?
We are.
We're shot.
This is Wayne Keel.
pretty
I mean,
tough
yeah.
to get to.
Come in and roll in off of that one?
What can it hurt if you just play back line, wait off it?
Well, if it over curls and I get into the side of that one, that's what that can hurt.
And we're not going after that, we're going after
No,
this.
I know.
This is wide open, right?
Yeah. So we play like same weight I just threw.
Yeah, I don't know. You can be a little heavier, but I mean, I suppose if you're on the outside, you just wick it in. You happy with? I think we got to take a crack at it.
Take a crack at it. So like throw a hit. Throw a normal hit. Or like
When it's still an open hit, it's so hard to roll in. No, that's all.
like a 10.
Pardon?
Like a 10.
Yeah, I think a 10.
10.
10 and hit and roll in.
So you like that weight? You like the 10?
Do you like that?
Yeah.
I think the Canadian team's struggling a little bit with the noise in the arena. It sounds like there's a bit of a Mexican wave going on. Yeah, this is it's an interesting shot, this one, because actually it's very possible for Canada to score too. It's about playing it in the safest way, but also giving themselves a great opportunity to make it.
The concerning thing for me in that discussion was the amount of negativity that was happening. The worst case scenario here is that you give up a steal of
Mark.
one somehow. That
Make
something
it,
goes
Mark.
really wrong, and guess what? You're still winning with the hammer. It's not that bad. I would have said, yeah, go for it. Play the hit and the roll.
10, yeah.
You've got this. And now, you know, you're going to be back up 4. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more positive discussion of what we can make, what's possible, instead of what we're afraid of happening.
Well, this one's looking
Is it
a
going?
little
Is
bit
it going?
high at the moment.
Is it going?
Starting to curl now, though. It's pretty close, this one. Watch the top one. Hits it too thin.
That's it.
Just a score of 1, though.
We got one.
Just a score of 1, and
Mark.
that's actually quite a good
Oh, they
outcome
got
for
less
Canada.
than we do. Oh, no.
There's only
No, we
2
don't.
stones to come in this bronze medal
On that
game.
end, when we were sitting those 3, we should have peeled their guard. Because that's all they had was to go around their guard.
There you go, Marie.
I have.
Absolutely bob on.
Yeah.
She's saying that we should have peeled earlier in the end. We wouldn't have gotten in that mess.
She should have said that a little bit louder earlier in the end, though.
So after 6 ends, Canada leading Korea by 5 shots to 2. Just 2 ends to come. Full house in the Gangneung Curling Centre. The home crowd expecting another medal, but they're struggling. They're 3 shots behind. They've only got 2 ends to come.
The good news for Republic of Korea, they've got that last rock. And their skip, based on the last 2 stones, or the 4th thrower for them, he made beautiful draws. Now they've just got to set themselves up in the middle of the order. The middle of the order for Korea, struggling. And if they kind of up their production a bit, they can get back into this game. 2 points here and a steal and 8, and all of a sudden you're looking at an extra end.
To the wing.
Korea has a chance.
Oh, Korea are surely going to throw a corner guard here. Need to use the free guard zone to try and get back into this game. They've called the takeout. Can you believe it? They've called a takeout when they're 3 shots down. They've decided not to use the free guard zone. What is going on?
Yeah, that is just a lack of awareness of what is happening on the scoreboard. You know, it's funny. The scoreboard's right there. It's literally right next to them. Athletes, when you're playing, you know, advice for you players at home, turn around, stare at the scoreboard until your tactics come into your mind, till you are clear with what's happening. We're down by 3. We need rocks in play. Canada is absolutely thrilled with that choice. Well, yep.
Didn't want to stick there.
She did not want to stick around there. They are happy, happy, happy.
I know.
I just can't believe that tactical decision is absolutely baffling.
You know, and that's and again, that's the pressure of this situation. You can lose your way because of the pressure. So they need to all come together, have a discussion, make sure they know. I mean, now they're putting the corner guard up, which is actually, oh, and it comes up short. The right tactic, but just too late, and then not well executed. That stone didn't make it all the way into the field of play over the hog line, and it gets put to the bin.
Yeah, I think Canada might even peel their own stone out here.
Absolutely, they will.
Oh, a bit of a bouncy one from Dennis Thiessen.
Yeah, those. So every time that stone bounces in the sport, we've seen that it's really difficult to hold the line. But Dennis Thiessen gets away with that there. And the bounce happens when they're putting on that extra kind of momentum. And the cue goes down into the ice and out through the rock. And some of that force creates the wobble. Now it looks incredibly desperate. I mean, it's an absolutely desolate house. You're down by 3 points.
Well, we have seen situations like this during the event and can still result in a multiple score. Canada will need to be fully concentrated still in this end to make sure that they don't give up more than 1.
Short of the house. That's good news. They're going to keep sticking with that plan. And they are going to hope that Canada sticks around. Leaves something for them to use. Denny Thiessen's going to try and do something other than that. He's going to try and hit and roll out.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. You
It
got
seemed
it.
like a smoother delivery that time from Denny Thiessen, but it's hit it on the nose, and that's the mistake that Korea were
Too
looking
much.
for.
You were saying curl, curl. Oh, you were saying don't curl.
2초 반 후반.
Well, a guard now, and Seo Sun-suk can try and wrap one right around. They desperately need to score multiple points here in the 7th end, Korea.
That's good news. He resets himself. He didn't like his line, didn't like the feel of it, did a double check. Remember, he's had some errant lines. He's thrown this turn a little bit better with a little bit more consistency. This looks light. It's curling early. It's moving hard. It is not going to have the pace that he was looking for. But now there's 2 guards, and they're right in front of the other. It's going to be hard to get rid of both of those for Team Canada.
2초 반에서 후반.
And Canada's not going to try.
Yeah, this is risky stuff from Canada. They've missed one peel and they've abandoned the game plan.
Yeah, but you've got the precision draw master of the game right now in Ina Forrest. She's making almost all of these shots.
Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Commentator's curse.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop, stop, stop.
This is going to hang around, but it is going to slip behind the tee line just a bit.
Pretty good draw by Ina Forrest.
Scoring area really small now.
2초 3에 저기 머물렀어요. 프리즈까지 괜찮은 2초
She's
3.
good with that.
그러니까 프리즈까지
Fist bumps,
괜찮으니까
high fives.
2초 후반까지 괜찮아요.
We've got a 3-point lead. And the Korean team looks, they're starting to look a little nervous, a little tight. This is the time where they've got to try and enjoy putting their hocks in play. Enjoy the challenges that they're facing. The pressure of this situation is what they dreamed about. It's what they worked so hard for. So letting go of some of the misses. Dialing in. A couple of really good ones like that. That'll help turn the ship around.
Good shot there by Lee Dong-ga, but wide open. Ina Forrest can make the takeout here. Canada slowly but surely running the Koreans out of stones. I never know exactly what she says to herself before she throws the stone.
I would think I'd say
Good shot, Ein.
champion.
Nice shot, nice shot.
And she has got it right down onto the nose. Korea just 3 stones to come in this end. Purdue starting to get some in more difficult positions. Try and force some misses from Canada.
I don't know, again, if you're Korea, look at the situation. There's some guards. There's rocks to run into. There's front guards. There's what I call back guards.
아까 똑같은 왼쪽.
Lots of opportunities for Korea here.
Yeah, they've got 3 rocks left. There's space for 3 stones in there. There's space for 3 stones under cover. And Mark Idison has had a couple of missteps along the way here. Mark is not playing his strongest game. So just a little bit better execution right here.
라인은
Put the pressure
좋아요.
on. Skip from Canada.
좋아.
워!
And that's something going.
This looks pretty good. A lovely shot from Lee Dong-gat.
2.3.
He's starting to fire now.
Trying to be
Is it
inside.
too late for
One
Korea
right
though?
here. Either to it or short of it. Right? We can't hit it.
So you can still come there, right?
Unless she just knows it. I think we knows it. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
You can still get inside on that.
So they're discussing their options here. Could draw off the inside, or
Yeah, I don't want that.
I would
turn.
expect them to play some
like
sort of a
this turn.
takeout.
Yeah, I think Canada has got to play a takeout. Even if they jam on a stone in the back, then that
Okay, Mark.
forces Korea into an upweight shot,
away.
a more
Well, I gotta
precision
nose
shot.
it. It's gonna stay around, but we gotta sit on.
You might be able to get to the inside a little bit. Just make sure it goes. That's all that matters.
So you can see, Canada could get to the inside there. It is available. But they've got to be okay with just taking the control position in front of the Korean stone.
This one looks tight at the moment. Needs nose or anywhere inside. Is it by the top one? It is. This could be good for chipping it out the side. Oh, he misses on the inside completely. And Korea still in this. He knew that was a big chance to keep some daylight.
I mean, how do you get through here? Look at this hole. Past the long guard, and then, are you kidding me?
저거 살짝 맞고 들어가도 돼요.
If you had to make that shot,
들어.
you might not be able to do it.
2초 반.
So it looks like he's enjoying himself, but maybe a bit of nerves now. Getting right down to the business end, the final stones of the event for these two teams. Korea just wanting to start burying stones now.
아, 웨이트 좋아요. 웨이트 좋아.
Maybe a chance for a reprieve for Mark Idison. He sticks the two red stones side by side, and you know, the Canadian fourth player could spring both of these reds. He's not even come down to look at them because Canada are running a little bit short on time now. Both teams not blessed for time, really.
No.
Well, if Mark Idison can make this shot here, spring both of those red Korean stones, then that would put them 1 foot over the doorstep for that bronze medal.
Nice shot.
Well, just one,
Nice shot.
but he keeps
Got rid of one,
his
that's
stone
what
around
It picks something,
and
eh?
makes it difficult for Korea
See
to
it go
get in there to
sideways?
score two.
Nice shot.
It picked something at the end there.
No, same get his two.
I think he might have grabbed some sort of debris or something that kind of made it curl a bit. He must have thought he'd made it. Now this is a really difficult draw here. Needing to thread one between the two yellow stones. The guard and then the stone just played by Mark Idison down into the edge of the button for two. Very tough shot here. So the final stone of the seventh end, Cha Jae-gwan needs to bring one of his best out here.
Line is looking good. Doesn't have the weight.
Looks pretty close. Looks pretty close. Needs to curl now. Oh, what an attempt by Cha Jae-gwan. Just needed to curl half a stone more and that was made. Such a shame. It's only going to be one for Korea.
반대로 했어야 된다고.
그러니까.
And it's going to be a huge ask for them in the 8th end, trailing by 2. They don't have the last stone after 7 ends. Canada 5, Korea 3. (5-3) the score line. Those 2 deuces and the first 4 ends making all the difference at the moment for Canada. And this is the final end, the 8th end of regulation time in this bronze medal game. Korea needing to steal 2, needs to use the free guard zone, and they drift into the front of the house.
You know, that is the story of this game for the Korean team. Just a little bit off. Needing their best performance effort. Can't quite get it. Can't quite get the stones where they need them.
Well, this really helps Canada. Would have liked to roll the stone out of play there. Slight mistake there from Marie Wright. But as long as they can keep making the red stones go away, then they're going to take this bronze. I think it'll be another attempt at the center guard here for Bang Mun-ja. It's gone a little bit quiet in the Gangneung Curling Centre here.
Yeah, and their fans, great fans that have been cheering this team on all week. They're a little quiet. They might be praying a little bit, praying that this great representative team from Korea can put together a miracle with the last 6 rocks that they've got left in this championship.
Marie Wright going for the draw, I believe, here.
You know, this is one of those situations. The draw is does Canada want to win by 3? They're already up. Very happy Marie Wright was heavy with that, and that's way back into the scoring area. But Canada could have just peeled their own rock.
No matter what.
Marie's first shooter. Just hit that rock, hit it out of play, keep things as simple as possible.
And I think that was Mark Hydeson's first instinct as well. He did point at it.
Yeah.
But then just went for the draw anyway. So a few stones starting to build up here for Korea after a mistake with the first one of the end.
Matt Rock's in a nice position there, that other guard.
The middle one. Middle one, Ken.
Canada starting to tidy things
What
up.
are you doing here?
And they're also, you can hear the clipped tone in the voices. They're watching their clock tick down. They'd love to have at least 2 full minutes for their skip to throw his last rock.
Good.
Oh, peels a wide one as well. Great shot by Dennis Thiessen.
That's
Gets
the one we
a ton
wanted.
of production out of that rock.
And you got 2.
So only 3 stones in play.
Here you go. Great action. Bing, bang, bye-bye. Great shot, Denny.
Well, he knows it as well. He's just given his team a much better chance of seeing this one out. Be another guard here for Seo. Needs to get over the hog line. And it does. Just.
So that stays in play, and those are long. Now all of a sudden the angles are a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, okay. Run
Den's
it into
still
this
gonna
one.
play. They're gonna take the high one because they know trying to peel the middle one could run into the rock on the side of the rings, the yellow rock on the side of the house. They're gonna play it safe. Oh, we get the wobble, and that just sends. That might be a little wide. And it is.
Well, straight through from Dennis Thiessen.
From a great shot to
Former Rocks guys.
0. And there's hope yet for Korea.
Yeah, they've got a couple of guards up there that they can use. They're blocking the way into the 4-foot circle at the moment, so we'll try and start burying them behind now.
후반까지 앞쪽까지
동아야.
괜찮아.
너무 열둘이야.
Well, Lee Dong-ga made a couple of good shots in the last end. Set up that opportunity for a multiple score. Very smooth
난
delivery.
괜찮아. 오케이. 워.
잘 가고 있어요.
와! 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 와!
2초.
Needs to curl here. Needs to curl, needs to get hidden.
안 떨어져.
Good shot again by Dong-ga. Why wasn't this guy playing from the start?
안 떨어져. 그쪽이 좀 덜 떨어져.
He is really stepped up for this team. Coming in off the bench after the 4th end break. Hitting the ice cold. Comes out hot.
Well, Ina Forrest, it'll just be another takeout again. That stone still reasonably well seen from the hack, so they're going to try and curl around that long guard and tap the red through.
Yeah, that guard is really long. There's lots of space.
Looking wide in the moment.
She just needs to touch it.
Oh, Ina.
8-9. Just through 8-9.
A bit wide and a bit heavy.
Just a little too much weight.
Korea
Wow, I was outside
still
it, though.
have a chance. 6 stones to come in this bronze game. Korea line 1 timeout called. And Baek Jong-chul, the Korean coach, will make his way down to the ice.
거의 한 70% 보이는
All you need to do is tuck another one around, full 8 foot, half under cover, set yourself up.
Making things easy for themselves at the moment, Canada.
상대가 긴장해서 상대도 실수를 되게 많이 하고 있잖아요. 그리고 우리보다 상대가 지금 돌이 더 남았죠. 우리도 3개 남고 상대 몇 개 남았어요? 3개 남았죠. 3개. 시간도 상대가 지금 진짜 없어요. 그러니까 우리 지금 타임아웃 끝나고 나서 시간 우리가 여유가 있으니까 그렇게 하고 작전은 이제 아웃 앤 컴어라운드죠.
다시 여기까지.
아니죠. 승부 완전히 승부예요.
승부.
네. 아니요. 글로 가면 더블 들어오니까 앞쪽으로.
이쪽으로.
타포, 센터 타포. 아니, 센터 타포.
그러니까 왜 이렇게
네,
너무
그쪽.
빼지 말고 아까 그 느낌으로.
그래가지고 저것도 히트롤이 들어갈 수 없게 하고
Well, maybe you can talk us through
그
where
앞에다
they're
있고 혹여나 뭐가
putting
들어가게
in. I know
되면
you're
우리가 다시
Korean
넣고.
pretty hot, so
그러니까 비교웨이트보다는
My
지금은
Korean
이
is, I really
이
only speak curling,
포커에서
so
웨이트
but
상대가 만약에 들어온다고 해도
some of the language is universal. Center line, 4 foot.
할수 있어요.
네.
네.
Get in there.
빨리 가.
You want to create a bit of a staggered
시간이 없으니까.
one in front of the other so that Canada can only see half of each of these rocks, if at all. So
준비 빨리 해.
just touching the center line, undercover all the way into the 4 foot.
가도 아까 그 웨이트로. 이쪽으로 컴대도 되고 하니까. 자, 화이팅. 2초 반에서 후반.
거의 비슷하게 나가야 된다.
Well, more of the same, and Canada won't like to see that this guy Lee Dong-ga is throwing again. He's about 40 meters away from the area that he's trying to play into. Looking a little bit heavy. Needs to curl here, needs to curl. And needs to stick around. This one is going straight through the house. What an opportunity missed by Korea. They drew the play up and they couldn't execute it.
You know, Logan, that happens so frequently after timeouts. One of the statistics that curling tracks is the successful completion of shots post timeout. And you know, it was a 50-50 proposition for Korea based on the history of their timeouts during this championship. That little bit of pause, that extra time that it takes, thinking so much about a shot sometimes, you know, can break up your rhythm in a way that makes executing even more difficult.
So
that's good like that. They're still shot, but if we just can't get
that freeze just bounces off from Aina Forrest. Didn't want to go after the takeout again, and that presents an additional opportunity for Korea. Going to be a similar shot called here for Cha Jae-gwan. They can tighten the ice up a little bit here and bump into them and still get a good result.
Yeah, they can move or shift the angles a little bit.
Needs to curl now, needs to get to the nose or the inside of that yellow. It's trying. Not good enough to lie to, but still leaves it in a very useful position.
That's an outstanding spot for that rock. It can, Canada, oh, you can see the pressure. You can see the pressure. Korea still sitting shot rock in the back of the forefoot.
What do you like?
So where do you want to be?
There's not a good place for Canada to play a takeout.
I don't have much time left.
And they are fighting the clock. Wow.
Okay, Mark.
Canada's going to either draw or try and guard.
Well, this is a really risky play here from Mark Idison. Going to try and guard. If they don't get it right, then Korea could be playing a takeout to lie 3. So this is a must-make here for Mark Idison. Canada making things extremely difficult for themselves in this last couple of ends.
They've lost track of the time clock. They're rushing a bit. They had a couple of misses. They need this guard in a good spot, and Mark Idison has placed it near perfectly.
First shot.
So Mark Idison thinks that they're close. Korea need to find a way to get that Yellowstone out there and preserve the 2 reds. They're going to look at all the angles, work out what's the easiest shot. What stone can they raise onto their own red to pop it onto the yellow and the teal end and push it through? There's 3 up there.
Yeah, there's even more. There's another high one right on the center line that we can't see.
Just 2 stones to come. One for Korea and one for Canada. But Korea need to make this shot to force Canada to even throw their last stone.
He's picked the angle that throws right into the mitt.
빨간 거 넣으면 돼?
So there's a bit of a catcher's mitt available.
연배.
10초로 잡아줘. 10초
are
안
they
돼.
trying to draw?
서로 어떻게 잡으라고?
저기를 충격 주기에는
Their clock's now ticking.
10초로 잡아야
I thought
돼.
Canada were lying in shot
그거밖에
position.
없어,
They
so
are not.
10초로
Korea is
잡으라니까
in shot
이거.
position. The Canadians are actually wrong about that. They had that talk.
시간 없어.
각이 안 나와.
Gonna play the run. Cha Jae-kwon needs to
충분해
tap
시간.
왼쪽 맞아야 돼.
that red stone on the left, just outside the rings.
Well, this needs to be made to give Korea a chance to win their second ever Paralympic medal. It looks inside, wiggles off the wide ones. It's not going to be made. This one's over, and Canada have won the bronze medal. They've won a medal at every single Paralympic Games where wheelchair curling has featured. It's been gold in the first 3 Paralympics, bronze this time, and a well-deserved victory for the Canadians here in the bronze game. They had the upper hand throughout.
And a valiant effort. The Koreans, the Republic of Korea, they're fantastic athletes, gave it everything they had.
Well, the Canadian fans giving a big reception to their bronze medalists, and some polite applause from the home crowd as well. They'll be disappointed. Mark Idison's starting to look a little bit emotional. He must be so relieved. Wendy Morgan, the national coach, coming out to congratulate the Koreans on a great game. It went right down to the wire. And a huge moment for everybody involved. Wayne Keel making his way out as well to congratulate the players. Seo Sun-suk still with some hands to be shaken here. It's easy to get carried away in the moment and start celebrating before you've done the sportsmanship thing and giving your opposition a hug.
Yeah, all of these athletes are so close.
After this happening, you can wander on out to the live site at the Gangneung Curling Park. Wonderful activity.
And just quickly, how big a medal is this for Canada given their struggles at the Olympics?
It's absolutely so critical. You know they wanted another gold medal here, but coming away with a medal of any color is so significant. 12 countries competing here, 35 nations around the world play this sport, and to be one of the medalists, it's a tremendous win.
Dennis Thiessen getting his second Paralympic medal, gold in 2014, bronze this time. Jamie Anshu, the alternate, making his way out to join the players and wins his first medal.
And it's Marie Wright's first medal as well.
I don't think anybody more deserving of that medal than Marie Wright. She's been absolutely flawless throughout the event. A real vein of positivity throughout the event. She's able to celebrate that with 2 of her daughters here in the crowd as well. 2 of her daughters supporting from home as well. Thrilling stuff. A worthy bronze medal game here of what's been a great wheelchair curling event. The gold medal game still to come.
He can use the broom, maybe.
Mark Idison there leading his team. The skip, it's his first Paralympic Games as skip. He's only going to get better. Oh yeah, the emotion.
Oh, actually 3.
3 is the number for Aina Forrest. 2 golds and a bronze, 3 total medals. Dennis Thiessen clearly overwhelmed with the situation. It's been a hard road for the last 4 years, and Canada haven't performed well at the World Championships, never actually made the playoffs between the 2 Paralympics. But they've managed to get one here when it really mattered.
And the big guy at second.
He's a big softie at heart.
Yeah, hugging the official. I don't know if you see that in very many sports, when the athletes hug an official coming off the field of play.
Holding the flag like the quad.
And a selfie opportunity with the scoreboard in the background, and all the Canadian fans just above it.
Hold on, let me get in there.
Oh, they'll have some great photos to remember this
And guys,
historic moment.
that's one tough shot before we have a smiling one.
They'll be etched into the history books as the bronze medalists here at the 2018 PyeongChang Paralympic Winter Games. So here's the stats, and it was a real struggle for the Koreans today, just not at their best. None of the players playing at the level that they have throughout the round robin. Lee Dong-ga came on at half-time and tried to get something going for Korea, but it just wasn't enough. But Marie Wright and Ina Forrest both playing terrific games. Mark Idison making that final guard when it was really needed. And Canada deserved winners here in this bronze game. Those 2 stolen points in the first end, the only stolen points of the game. And that really gave them the upper hand throughout. Really strong support for Canada, a big contingent making the journey over, and they're rewarded as well. Not just by seeing the players' bronze medal, which they'll catch later on, but the smiles on their faces and just being a part of this big moment. Well, what a game there in the bronze medal match between Canada and Korea. Some great performances out there. Korea not quite at their best. Canada took an early lead and they held on to it throughout, finishing this one by 5 shots to 3. The host nation don't get the medal that they were looking for to follow up on their Olympic success. Canada, the reigning Paralympic champions, get the bronze medal. Thanks for watching.